Mick Jagger smashes a window. U2 closes down 5 lanes of traffic in Kansas City. And the Marines attack Peter Cetera in Chicago. It's all here this week in rock history. May 15, 1975, Fleetwood Mac play their first concert with the new members Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks at a show in El Paso, Texas. Thus starts the period in Fleetwood Mac where all the songs are about how everybody's breaking up everybody else's relationship. 1974, Frank Zappa and his wife announced the birth of their 3rd child, a boy named Rodan. Yeah, it was named after the Japanese movie monster that flies around and eats a lot of 707 planes. So go ahead, change your middle name to one of your favorite monsters. May 16th, 1998, back with Keith Richards again. Remember last week he fell out of a coconut tree. He's falling this week too. And on this date, in 1998, he injures his ribs and chest when he falls from a chair while reaching for a book of nude art and breaks some ribs at his Connecticut home. The Stones were forced to reschedule the first 4 dates of their upcoming tour while he recovers. I'm asking for a friend. Do you know where that book is? May 17, 1963, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Pete Seeger, The Weavers, and Peter, Paul and Mary were the featured acts at the very first Monterey Folk Festival in Monterey, California. Dylan was booed by some for going electric. 1975, Mick Jagger tripped and in an attempt to break his fall, put his fist through the window of a restaurant in Long Island, New York. Jagger required 20 stitches, but the Rolling Stones' North America tour proceeded in 2 weeks as planned. 1987, Tom Petty's home in Encino, California burns to the ground.
My kid yelled out that the house is on fire. 15 feet of flame, you couldn't do nothing but run for your life, really.
Petty and his family escape unharmed but are traumatized by the blaze, which is determined to be arson. The perpetrator is never caught. Ultimately, though, he shaped the fire into one of his most well-known songs, I Won't Back Down. 1965, the FBI ends its 2-year investigation into the Kingsmen song Louie Louie, determining that the largely indecipherable lyrics are not obscene. You couldn't really make them out because in the studio, supposedly the microphone was attached to the ceiling instead of right in front of the singer. May 18, 1966, 16-year-old Bruce Springsteen records for the first time with his band, The Castiles. They cut a couple songs at a studio in the Brick Mall Shopping Center in New Jersey. May 18, 1964, the Animals record the folk song House of the Rising Sun in a matter of minutes at a London studio. A few months later, it became a huge hit, going to #1 in both the UK and the US. May 19, 1979. The closest thing to a Beatle reunion happened when Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr played together at Eric Clapton's wedding reception at his home in England. Eric marries Pattie Boyd, who used to be with George Harrison, and she was the inspiration for both the songs Something by George and Layla by Eric. May 20, 1997. U2 caused traffic chaos in Kansas City after they paid for traffic control to close down 5 lanes of the Lewis and Clark Viaduct so they could shoot the video for The Last Night on Earth. Apart from some major traffic jams, a passing Cadillac crashed into a plate glass window trying to avoid a cameraman on the shoot. May 20, 1969, while watching a baseball game in Dodger Stadium out in L.A., Peter Cetera of Chicago was set upon by 4 Marines because they didn't like the length of his hair. They broke his jaw, resulting in the singer spending 2 days in intensive care. May 21, 1979, Elton John started a tour of Russia, where he played the first of 8 concerts, making him the first Western star ever to do so. May 21, 1970, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young released the protest song Ohio, written and composed by Neil Young quickly in reaction to the Kent State shootings of May 4th, 1970. And that's what happened this week in rock history. We'll check back with you next week.